Today's topic is simple and very sweet. It's very straightforward. The topic we are discussing today is super amazing, and I want you to participate as much as possible. So if you drop a comment on our Facebook channel or you drop a comment on YouTube, we will pick it up. If you want to call, you could call. So I would like to recommend right now that you ensure that your phone is close to you to make that call, right? Okay, today's topic is simple: how to handle the pressures, of marrying early. You know, when people come to always tell you, oh, you have to marry early, you have to do this, you have to do that, all that pressure of marrying early. And the good thing about it is that I have amazing people with me who are joining me, and one of my music discussant is already here. Good afternoon, testimony. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good
Good
afternoon, sir.
afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you too, sir?
I'm also doing very well. I'm doing great. It's good to have you around. Okay, for those who don't know, Testimony is a counselor, psychologist, and interestingly, her specialization is marriage and family. Today, discussing this topic. Now, them the Russians, you know, I remember when I was single and everyone was like, ah, guy, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? When are you going to get married? When are you getting married? And by the time I was finally wanting to get married and I was having all the delays and the rest, I wanted to I said was, now them the Russians now. Not be so one married, but just people continue as single. But not them the Russians. So today we actually want to discuss and talk about how to handle that kind of pressure. Because the truth about it is that if you're already if you already more than 22, definitely they are going to be asking you when do you want to get married and all of that. So that's why we are discussing this topic today, right? How to handle the pressures of early marriage. So, testimony: are you single or you married?
I'm single.
Oh, great. Oh, great. So, which means that there's every possibility now that you are one of the persons that are being pressured. Or let me ask, are you facing any pressure right now regarding when to get married?
Ah, I would say that yes, from friends, from acquaintances, initially,
Okay.
colleagues. But
Okay.
the great shock was last week from my parents.
Interesting. That's what we'll be discussing that. But the good thing about it is that today we are not talking about you, but we are wanting you to join us to discuss this particular matter as a counseling psychologist. And interestingly, you would be able to also help us more since you are practically experiencing it right now. You're going through that phase right now, how to handle these
Uh,
particular pressures of marriage, right? So I'm glad to know that you are there and you will be joining us to discuss it. In case you're just joining me and joining us, this is your radiotherapist. It is reaching you from Vintage 93.7 FM, Oluyole, Ibadan. And it is I, your sincerely and all right counselor psychologist and family law lawyer. So let's go straight into today's conversation. Testimony: do you think that the pressure people put on singles to get married, do you even think that it is valid? What do you have to say? Do you think it is valid?
okay.
Oh, it seems to have some network issues and the rest, and I have lost testimony. But then, if you want to call in, you can always call in. So you can call us on 0704 7000 0937. So you can call us on 0704 7000 937. Or alternatively, you could call us on 0909 999 7937. right? So you could always do that. Okay, let me give you an easier number to call. Let me give you an easier number to call that you can reach us on right away if you want to call to contribute to this particular program. It is 080-322-42564. I'll call it again, 080-322-42564. So if you have any contribution that you want to make, please make it. Now, interestingly, while we're picking this topic and choosing this topic for conversation today, somehow I was trying to feel, I was feeling guilty. Okay, we're having a caller. Let me see. We're having a caller. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Oh, please, we want to mention that we do not accept pick and drop calls. So if you're calling us, ensure that you're ready to have a conversation with us. Do not put on your radio while you're calling us. So ensure that your radio is off while you're calling us. Not just that, also ensure that you're in a place where we can hear you loud and clear. The number to call again is 080-322-42564. 080-322-42564. I was saying that when I picked this topic, I was already feeling guilty, and one of the things that was making me feel guilty was the fact that many single people usually say that I'm pressuring them to get married. And I'll tell you why I'm pressuring you to get married, right? Or I will not say I'm pressuring you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling your radio therapist. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, sorry. Please, you may try and call again. You may try and call again. Okay. Now, so I was saying that I've had many single people who come and they start telling me, oh, that I should please, I'm pressuring them, I'm telling them to get married and all of that. And I was like, say, do I do that? Is there any possibility that I'm doing that at all? And all of that, because I just want people to get married. I'm enjoying my marriage. I see my parents enjoy their marriage, and I like seeing, and I want young people to also get married. Besides, the glory of the youth is their strength. So I usually feel that if the requirements of raising kids and having children is demanding, then it is best that you handle that aspect of your life while you have all those strengths that you can, right? So why do you want to spend your weaker years raising kids when you just spent only the years where you had that physical energy just making only money? So why this topic was coming up? I was like, I hope I'm not planning against me. This topic is not planned against me, and the rest people say that I'm more or less like pressuring people to get married. And I still did a poll recently. There was a poll recently I was involved in, and what shocked me about that poll was the fact that the many of the young people, and this time I'm talking to singles who are between 18 and 43. Many of them in the poll, only about 2 people were interested in dating and relationship. I just could not understand why only that number would be interested in dating and relationship. And the reason why I could not just get it was something simple, is the fact that I realized that what many young people are spending their energy on is what would have been irrelevant if our country was functional. In the sense that if you see people who are single right now, they are 26, 27, 28, 29 to about 35, and you are asking them why are they not getting married or why they are not interested in getting married. They will always say things like, I beg, I want to hustle, I want to go and make money, I want to go and do this, I want to go and do that. That's the reason why I don't want to get married now. And I'm like, it's because our country is not working. In reality, if our country was working, what you are hustling for at 30, ordinarily supposed to be what you'll be enjoying. And we may not know that could some way somehow be a curse. It could some way somehow be a curse because it's not a blessing. And the reason why it's not a blessing is because is that we are spending our youth struggling to make for ourselves what our government ought to have provided for us. So by the time we are old, right, by the time we are old and supposed to be enjoying, we'll now also be struggling again, trying to raise kids. That's the reason why I usually tell young people to get married. But then, testimony, you're back. So I would like to continue from where we stopped last time. Do you even think that pressuring young people to marry is valid? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, right, we're receiving a caller. I just lost a caller right now. If you want to call, please call back. And in case you just want to call us, 080-322-42564. Hello,
Hello.
good afternoon. How are you doing? What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Abdullah and I'm coming from Challenge.
Okay, Abdullah. Yes, what is your contribution? What is it that you like to tell us today? Oh, now we lost Abdullah's call and the rest. So please, if you want to call us, you can call us on 080-322-42564. Now I understand that you may be facing one pressure or the other if you're single out there, and that's because to you, you don't feel that it is time for you to get married, right? Now, to deal with the particular pressure, what I want you to do is to see and you understand your perspective. You already understand why you do not want to get married, and that's clear. For you, maybe you are not earning enough, maybe you don't you don't have a good position yet in your career. You've not climbed the ladder as much as you have wanted to climb it. You have not gotten to the place where you the point in your career where you are supposed to get to, right? So there's every possibility. Those are the reasons why you are not wanting to do that. You get it now? So there's every possibility that that is not. But if you feel people are pressuring you to get married and you are like, okay, maybe they are pressuring you to get married. I think one of the first things you should do is to ask yourself, why are they pressuring me? Why do they significantly want me to get married right now? Why not get married another time? Why is everyone trying to make me want to get married right now? So let me ask Testimony that question since she is back. So Testimony, I would like to ask you, why do you think people may be feeling pressured when they are asked to get married? Why do you think people may be feeling pressured when they are asked to get married?
I would say that in our society in Nigeria, it looks like
Yeah.
marriage is one of the things you need to tick on the list. So it's
Okay.
like
Is it our society or is life?
in some other countries, it's not so. Like in some of the Western world, it's not so. But it looks like one of the bucket lists you have to tick at some stages in life. So I feel that okay, when this person is telling you get married, this person is telling you get married, this person, and then even
Mm,
if you've not been thinking about it, the pressure sets in. The pressure
mm,
sets in. I'm one of the persons that has told myself that I can never be intimidated or feel pressured. But there are some times that okay, I'll just that some situations will just happen and then I'll just think about it. I'll still
yeah.
encourage myself. But another thing I would just want to say is that because of how our society works, because we
Yes.
really have a lot of Nigerians who are in the diaspora now, some in their
Yes.
40s, in their 50s, and they're working and they're not married,
Yes.
especially
Yes.
females. And then it's not a
Yes.
big deal. But but yeah, it is a big deal.
Wait, for those people who are in diaspora and they are not married, are they not married because they don't want to marry, or they are not married because they are not having someone to marry? Because we need to also be very clear about that, right? How many
Okay.
people in our community, if we just want to look at our community, want to look at our villages, want to look among our friends, how many of the people around us are choosing singleness for life? So those people now, even if we are looking at, because when you mention Western worlds, people and all of that, sometimes I ask myself that if you pay attention to countries that are still very traditional, the pressure to get married is still always on their singles. Right, the pressure to get married is always on their singles. If there's any population, any community in which there may be no pressure to get married on young people, you will notice that such countries or those particular localities, those communities, those states, those cities are places where um, we now have what they are multicultural. Number one, they are multicultural, and so and most of the people who are there are not actually there with their families. They are more or less like there alone, struggling, trying to make ends meet, trying to do this for themselves, trying to do that for their life, and all of that. Now, so it means they are more or less secluded. They are like secluded people, isolated people, people who are alone. But if we look at all the countries of the world that are still very indigenous and that are still very traditional, it is people of the same race, it is people of the same tribe, it is people of the same religion. All the singles
Yeah.
everywhere, there's usually this pressure to want to get married. That's why I wanted us to clarify. When we say we have singles in other places who are single and they are living their lives and the rest, and I ask myself the question: are they choosing singleness for life, or it is because they have not found someone to marry? Because we need to also
Okay.
clarify that.
I would say that every right thinking individual wants to get married at one point of his or her life. Every right thinking individual, whether man
Some
or
people may
woman.
choose not to get
But
married. Like for example, Father Francis, Father Jacob, Father, they chose to become
that's
Catholic
why I
priests
said,
and don't want to get married.
okay. Except for certain circumstances, okay, we have, yeah,
Yes.
like Catholic fathers, they have decided
Mhm.
to be celibate for the rest of their lives, so they have chosen
Mhm.
singleness. um Reverend mothers and the likes, and we have
Yes.
individuals, probably some people who are like, I met a man in his 80s and he said God told him not to marry. He's doing well and a lot, but that's like
Mhm.
a special circumstance. But if you are not called to that, at least
They,
if
they
you've
are the
gone to school, you
minority
have
of the
done
population.
the population of.
I mean, the people who choose not to get married, they happen to be the minority of the population. Most people definitely want to get married.
Yes.
Every person out there
Yeah,
wants to
maybe
get married.
one in 500 that would just
Yes.
choose
Say,
singleness for
don't want to get married.
even if one is choosing, like there has to be a reason, maybe a hurt or something that the person has not been able to let go of. So I feel that
Mhm.
maybe there's a problem, psychological problem somewhere, where you
Mhm.
just meet an individual that says I don't want to get married. It's different from I'm not
Well,
ready for
some may look,
marriage. Like I've been
some may look at
on
this stress.
ready for marriage. That's my own rather now. Like, so there's difference. I know that at a point in time, when I'm ready, I know
Mhm.
that I'll go into it. So, but seeing an individual just deciding to be single for no reason, it's very, very hard
Yes.
to find.
Yeah, there are very few. There are very few people like that who maybe after considering what it takes to get married, what it takes to run a family, what it takes to actually do marriage properly, they just decide that, see, for me, I don't think marriage is for me. I don't want to do it again. There are some people who choose not to get married again, maybe because they are frustrated. They have tried finding a suitable partner over time, and again, they cannot find one. So there are many reasons, but then let me come down. Let me come back and narrow it to these conversations, which is how to deal with the pressures to marry early. What counsel would you be giving to people on how to deal with the pressures of to marry early? I shared something on my WhatsApp status yesterday when someone who was going for the younger brother's marriage said she needed an advice on what reply to give to aunties and
Uh-huh.
uncles and family members, people who keep on asking. So that pressure is real. So that's why I'm coming back to ask, how would you want such people to handle it?
Okay. I'll say, okay, from that post you mentioned earlier, like
Yes.
at that stage, I don't think you should attend all family events. If you are the kind of person that you are emotional and then like things move you easily, you will have different people. Some people are not married at 40 as a female, they are nonchalant. They are like, when it comes, it comes. And then at 25, there's a lady out there that is really, really, if anybody says something in any direction, it just triggers that emotions that, is it because I'm not married? Why is this person saying this and all that? So I just feel that if you are that very emotional person, for that
Yes.
period, stay away from Nigerian wedding. Let me put it that way because it will trigger it. Even if they don't say it with their mouth, they'll say it with their body language. It's that
But
that
oh,
bad.
okay.
So
I
that's my
agree
own
with you.
norm. Emotional and then you cannot handle it. Stay away from family. Even if there's nobody that would there's no death sentence for you missing your brother or your sister's wedding. If you
Uh-huh. Like I agree with you that there's practically no death sentence if you miss your siblings' wedding or anything like that. But why should you want to miss those particular things because of the pressure people will bring on you? Yes, while we're waiting for testimony, I remember I was saying if people are pressuring you to get married, first of all, consider their side. I mean, consider their opinion. Why are they doing it? Why is this thing even happening? Why are they pushing you to get married? Why do they want you to get married right now? Perhaps it's because of biological clock. I know there are many, I would call them motivational speakers who will tell you that there's nothing like biological clock does not count. Where they are not medical practitioners. If they were medical practitioners, if they were sociologists, if they were behavioral psychologists, they will tell you that there is actually something called biological clock, right? We all know for those who are Christians that unto everything that is under the sun, there is a time and there is a season. So it means there's a general season which people are best positions to find a partner, to find a mate, to also easily get married. Like I would tell people, if you're 25 and you're getting married, it's easy for everybody in your family to support you. But if you're 35 and you're getting married, or you're 38 and you're getting married, it's easy for everybody to just want to come and eat your jollof rice. Because I have to them, what have you been doing all these years? You should have been getting yourself saving and grooming and all of that. So you want to first of all check if their pressure is valid or not valid. So when you start from there, is this pressure valid or not valid? Why are they pressuring me right now to get married? If you are staying in 200 level, for example, nobody will be pressuring you to get married unless maybe you have got to a certain age. But you notice that these questions and this subtle pressure may come in when you are in maybe from 300 level, 400 level. So you start hearing things that, oh, this is one of the best time for you to pick right now, choose somebody right now, because right now you have all the options. And it's true. That is the time where you have all the options. You are still on campus, you have thousands of people to choose from. And so the pressure will increase by the time you get to NYC because they are like, after NYC, you may never be part of a group, a large group of singles again. And in reality, to a large extent, that is true. Now, after NYC and you are beginning to live well, you begin to live fine, the pressure may increase again. Oh, you have to get married now, you have to get married. And one of the reasons may just be because the more comfortable you are as a single person, the more independent you are as a single person, and this is not particular to any gender, it affects men and it affects women. The longer you stay single, the more difficult it may be for you to easily adapt and blend with another person in marriage. Do you understand it now? So it's going to become more difficult for you to blend. It's going to become more difficult for you to accommodate another person in marriage. Mind you, you've already been single for maybe 10 years, living your life 10 ways. We are all creatures of routine and patterns and character. So there's already a way you already live your life, and you have been used to that. You are good to that. Now, When someone else is coming to your life, that person will shake your nest. That person will shake every pattern you have already used to. Where you keep your cup may not be where that person wants cups to be kept. The time you go to bed may no longer be the time that person wants you to go to bed. The amount of time you spend on the phone will be questioned right now. You have to automatically now be accountable, something you have not been doing for about 10 years. Then again, in reality, if we are sincere with ourselves, the older you become, the more the quality of even your head and your reproductive system is, right? I don't know how to put that, but let me try and do it this way. Is the fact that the closer you are to menopause or the closer you are to andropause as a man, there's a possibility that the quality of your egg and the quality of your sperm and the quality of your fertility is dropping. So in reality, there's actually biological clock because you are aging. Right? It is not only your body that is aging, it's not only your eyes that are getting wrinkled, it's not only your bones that are becoming lazy, your internal organs and every other part of you are also aging. If you plan to reproduce, if you plan to have children, then there is actually an amazing window you should take advantage of. So you want to first of all ask yourself, why are they even pressuring me? What is their valid reasons? Because all their reasons cannot just be negative. Let's be sincere. All their reasons cannot be negative, right? So you want to examine that. Why are they pressuring me? Are their reasons valid? Now, based on the reasons why they want me to get married right now, and based on the reasons why I don't want to get married, from the peculiarity of my life, which of them is more important? To identify which of them is more important, you have to take into consideration what does marriage mean to you and what does having kids mean to you. So if you define what marriage means to you, like why should I even get married? It's the same thing Testimony and I were discussing earlier on, and we are talking about the fact that okay, some people will always want to get married, and it comes down to the question: why do I want to get married? Is it because every other person is getting married? Is it because of companionship? Is it because of I want to have a family, so I want to have children? Is it because I want sex? Is it because I want somebody to partner with me in my business, in my career, in my job, in my ministry? You have to identify for yourself the particular reasons why you want to get married. Now, by the time you're done identifying why you want to get married, so you ask yourself, what is the best time to actually achieve this? Like, what are the things I want to do with my life, and what are the best times to achieve it? This money that I'm pursuing right now, this career that I'm pursuing right now, can I marry and still do it? Will marriage stop it? Or we marriage slow it? What would be the significant impact? Marriage may slow it down, but it may not stop it. And some people, so you want to look at all those things. Testimony was sharing with us earlier on, and she said that what you should do, another thing you should do, is that if you feel so much pressured by family members in those event, family ceremonies and the rest, you may want to just avoid the ceremonies altogether. So now I'll be asking testimony back. Okay, but before I ask testimony back, if you want to call in, you can call in 080-322, right? If you want to call in, so you can call in on 0704-7000-937, or you could also call in on 080-322-42564, right? You can call it on 080-322-42564, or you call us on 0704-7000-937, and we'll take your calls. If you drop a comment on our Facebook or on our YouTube, we would also pick it up. The pressure is there, and we have said one of the first things you should do is to identify why does the pressure exist in the first place. What is making them? For women, there are times you just ask, you start saying, ever since they have been telling me that I should not talk to boy, I should not do this with a boy, I should not do that and that. But now they want you to do all of this, right? You should ask yourself why, and why now? Why is it happening now? Why are we doing this now? Why is it coming up now? When you understand that, you merge it with why you, on the other hand, you don't want to get married. Okay, let's take this caller. Hello.
Earlier.
Okay, yes. Sorry for the troubles. You said your name was
Abdullah.
okay, Abdullah. Yes, what contribution, Abdullah, would you want to make to your radiotherapist today? Or is it a question? Hello, Abdullah. Oh, okay. We've lost that caller again. But that's fine. So if you want to call 0704 7000 or you call us. Okay, we're having a caller. Hello, please reduce the volume of your radio set. Oh, we lost that caller. See, if you want to call us, reduce the volume of your radio set before you call, please, because once we are having that echo, we may have to let you go. So you reduce the volume of your radio set, right? Let's see how we can do that and make that possible before you call. Now, how do you handle the pressures again? These are some of the things you have identified the reason why they are putting pressure on you. Another thing, hello.
Hello,
Yes, good
hello,
afternoon.
good afternoon.
What's the name and where are you calling from? Oh, we are losing that. Please try calling us on 0704 7000 937. 0704 7000 937. Or you could call us on 0909 999 7937. Right? Okay, now, so after you've identified where the pressure is coming from, the next thing you want to do is what can I do to actually stop this pressure? You could answer people so you have a ready-made answer. Why? Testimony says you may want to avoid those kind of places, but there are some places that you may not just be able to avoid. You cannot just walk away from there. So what you want to do is that you want to have a ready-made answer. And the ready-made answer does not have to be insulting. When are you getting married? Oh, when I find someone great. When are you getting married? So soon, but don't worry, you just be hopeful with me. Oh, when are you getting married? When it's time for me to get married, I will get married. Right. You want to have an answer for these people. Then there are many times that it may not even be people that are asking you directly. It could just be people's posts on social media. It could be the reads that you see, the content that you get to consume, the movies that you watch, the books that you read, the places that you go to. So you see people loving up on themselves. You see people paired up as a couple and all the different things, right? And these things can just some way make you feel like, is there something wrong with me? Put putting some pressures on you and the rest. In situations like that, I want to believe that you have already identified why they are pressuring you. You have identified the reason why you are not wanting to get married at this particular time, right? You have decided to say, okay, this is the reason why I don't want to get married at this particular time. You have done all this, you have identified all of these. And now you have a timing of when you want to get married. I don't believe it is proper for you to say when the time is right, that's when you want to get married. It will make the pressures sink more. But if you say, oh, I'll get married after my master's program, or I'll get married by the time I'm in my 30s, from when I'm 30 years old, I'll start thinking about 1 year and when I'm going to get married. If you have that plan, the pressure, when people are asking you these questions or putting pressure on you, you will not feel bad because you actually have a plan, right? So you are not even going to be unnecessarily pressured by people who are pairing up, people who are loving up, people who are trying to, whine you and the rest, because you know your timing, you know your plan, you know the calendar you are following. So if you don't even have that timeline set, If you don't have a plan and a timeline to say, okay, by the time I'm so is when I'm going to start thinking about getting married, it may not be, it may also be very difficult for you to manage the pressure. So you identify why they are pressuring you, you identify why you want to get married, you identify why you don't want to get married right now or why you are not getting married right now. And you move to the next thing, you have an answer ready for anyone who asks you that question. And that answer must not be insultive, must not sound hostile. You have all of that, right? Then you, like testimony contributed, you want to see how you can avoid places and avoid things that will put unnecessary pressure on you. And again, one of the ways that you can still manage this pressure is just to befriend people who are married and grow your network. It has a way it makes you even more relaxed. The more you're trying to avoid these conversations and the more you're trying to avoid people who are lovey-dovey, the more your brain will feel that there's something wrong with you. You want to first of all realize that there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that right now you have not found the right partner. So it means you are doing things actively to find the right partner. That's the belief we have, that you are doing things actively to find the right partner and you are not finding. So if for any reason you feel, oh, I want a partner right now, I want to get married right now, but I'm not finding someone good enough, I'm not finding someone suitable enough. For people like that, I usually recommend that they talk with a professional, talk with a counselor to explore the other options available to you, to explore the other options that you may want to consider to help your search. The truth about it is, many people who are searching right now are not searching properly. Many people who claim to be finding, looking for someone right now are not looking for that person properly. Many people who are doing different things in the name of trying to get married are not doing it the right way. And that you are sincerely doing it does not mean that you will get the right results if you are doing it wrong. So you may want to speak to a counselor, you may want to contact me, you may want to contact any counselor that is near you to see if you are searching for this person correctly and to know how to choose. But in all of that, be relaxed and just do the parts that you have control over. What are the parts that you have control over? The parts that you have control over is the part of meeting people, connecting with people, socializing, right? There's one I used to say several years ago, and I think it is still in order if I said it this time. Dressing your age or dressing, instead I would say dressing your age or I'll say dress single. Because there are some people who we see and the first thought that comes to our mind is that this person must be married. And there's a way, it may be very difficult for you to identify today, but I know growing up in the village, we could easily know a person who is married and a person who is not married. Because, for example, married people will not, single people will not tie two-hand wrapper, or rather double wrapper. They may not necessarily have to tie wrapper at all, unless it's a core traditional ceremony. Even if it was a core traditional ceremony, they will tie their wrapper shorter than those who are already married. So that once you see a single person, you just know that this person is single. But today, it's even very difficult for us to, maybe the married people are not dressing so single that we now get confused, because you see some people and from the way they are dressed, you think that they are single, but all of a sudden you realize that they are married. And unfortunately, there are many people who are single and they dress married. You see them and you think that they are married. So you may want to look into this. Talk to people, talk to friends, talk to a counselor, increase your social network, talk with those people. You know, there are people who have asked you this question more than one time. I think it will not be bad if you just sit down and want to discuss with them and answer them. See, auntie, it's not like I don't want to get married right now, but I'm not finding somebody. And they will tell you that, is it not you? You picked a lot, you are always selective, you are this and that. You tell them, yes, the reason why I'm picking a lot is because I want to marry for life and I don't want to deal with some problems. They may try to tell you, yeah, those problems are fine. There's no man that is actually good out there. There's no woman that is actually good out there. And you will reply them that that's the problem you want to avoid. You are not going to accept somebody because there's no man that is good out there. If you don't find any man that is good, if you don't find any woman that is good, you will enjoy being single. And you want to continue being single because you don't want to have problems and headache that this your auntie and this your uncles will not solve for you, and the headache that they will not also not carry for you. Right? So you want to sit down and find the answer and just relax, socialize more, ensure that you network more with people, be around people, communicate with people. When they ask you questions, answer them. When you see people who are loving up on themselves, celebrate them, be happy for them, don't be jealous. If you do those things, the pressure on you will reduce significantly. In case you are just joining, this is your radio therapist and it reaches you on Vintage 93.7 FM Oluyole Ibadan. It happens 1 p.m. every Sunday. So if you join me 1 p.m. either on Facebook or YouTube or live on radio, we'll be able to discuss different matters on relationship, on marriage, on family life, and also on mental health. Do not forget that the things that I share here is not professional advice. So if you need professional help, you can contact me directly or you find a counselor that is next to you. You can use the details on the video for those who are following us live on Facebook and on YouTube. And for those who are following us on radio, do not worry, you could always reach me on a certain number that I will call by the time we are ending this show. So thank you so much for staying with me. We are still discussing how to handle the pressures and the pressure from people